What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day and a safe day. Today we're talking about the 2001 film The Fast and the Furious. Like I said, The Fast and the Furious came out in 2001. It was directed by Rob Cohen. It stars Vin Diesel and Paul Walker in this film about an undercover cop who goes into the underground racing scene to figure out what's happening with all these different robberies that are happening. That was a weird way of saying that. Basically, he has to figure out who's robbing these trucks full of all these different electronics, and a lot of it has to do with this underground racing scene. So he gets sucked up into that world, and he learns all sorts of stuff, you know? He learns about family, he learns about NOS, and he learns about family. Actually, I wanted to say, one of the things that I like the most about this film is I actually really enjoy Brian and Dom's relationship that they have in this film. From being like very untrustworthy of each other, Dom is obviously the head of this huge racing scene. He has the girl, he has all the nice cars, he has his crew, he has all of his stuff. You know, he's the best racer out of everybody. So I liked having Brian come in. He's this new guy, he has a very nice car, he's a decent racer himself, but he still doesn't know how to street race. He doesn't know how to do the right thing and how to win races the same way that Dom does. Dom, however, also doesn't know things like how police search for people. So when the police start chasing after Dom and all the other underground street racers, and it's up to Brian to save him, Brian's the one that's able to get him out of that situation because he knows how to evade cops, because he knows how cops work, seeing as he is one. This movie also has a lot of really cool cars. That doesn't really add much to the story, but the cars are cool. It's really fun getting to like look under the hood of these cars, and they're like, woo, that's 15 grand under that car. And I'm like, 15 grand's more than I paid for my car. Holy shit. And then of course the entire theme of family is brought up very early on in this. All of Dom's friends and his crew are treated like family. They become brothers to him, the same way that Brian eventually becomes sort of like his brother, and they grow they grow very close together. And I like that you get that sense of family throughout, right from the beginning. You see how close these people are, the way they talk and interact with each other. You can tell that they're all very close, and you can tell that they have a good time. And I really liked that the theme of family was imprinted into this film basically from the beginning. Now, I will say, whenever I was watching this film, whenever they got to the undercover cop parts, the parts where Brian would go back to the police headquarters and they would say, "What have you uncovered?" And he would say, "Nothing yet." I would say, "We know it's Dom." And he was like, "It's not Dom. It can't be Dom." And then, of course, it is. But I liked that undercover cop part because tonally it feels so different from the rest of this film. In a way, it felt like Beverly Hills Cop, where whenever they're in between action scenes and you have these cops just messing around with each other, very much so tonally felt like Beverly Hills Cop in that moment. And if anything else, at least it reminded me of that. Love that film, so it was interesting to see that tonal shift between stuff like the car racing and then the cop stuff. There's also incredible pacing in this story. There's a lot of really great moments that stick out right at the beginning that gets you invested and interested into the characters. You know, you have some side characters that are introduced that never really have much to do, at least in this story, but are still fun and interesting parts of the universe that they bring in. And even from the very beginning, from the first race to them getting ready for the big race at the end, and then all of the actual drama that happens at the end of the film, it's a lot of stuff that happens, but it doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel awkwardly timed. It's all very well done, well executed, and there's great pacing. So what it does, it keeps you invested, it keeps you watching as the film unfolds. It does a very good job at that. And absolutely, it's an interesting story. It's interesting to see how something like an underground car scene where they illegally street race cars could have anything to do with like a wide story, you know, that has themes like family and betrayal. And you have those themes in this film that are somewhat deep, and it's hidden underneath all of this car bro stuff. And it does a good job at, like I said, keeping you invested in the story, so that even though there's some dumb stuff and there's some bro moments, it's still an interesting story where you care about the characters. All that being said, there is some poor dialogue in this. You know, there is such a thing as expository dialogue, which is where the characters sort of just talking you through what's happening in the plot. And then there's what this film has, which is, it seems like it was written by somebody who just pours the Axe body spray on every morning. And it is quite unrealistic. You know, they're supposed to race these quarter-mile drags, for example, and, you know, they seem to race for about 3 or 4 minutes straight on a quarter-mile drag, which takes about 10 seconds in real life to do. You know, so they get their cars going, and then they all take off, and then they'll activate their turbo and their NOS, and they'll have these really elongated race sequences that it's not how it works in real life. It's still very entertaining, but absolutely is not realistic in the slightest. Now, I will also say that the film has an abrupt start and an abrupt ending, where it sort of just pushes you into the universe. You have to sort of figure out where you are, and it shows you all this sort of stuff. It shows you who the characters are, what the story is, and then the same thing happens near the end, where you understand what's happening, and then all of a sudden the film's just like, all right, that was it, film's done. And you're like, that was it? There wasn't a lot of falling action, it seems like. It was just sort of a lot of action and drama for this not to really go anywhere at the very end. I do like the way it ends, but it is a very abrupt ending. So yeah. Look, all that being said, this is definitely not the worst Fast and the Furious movie, and going back and rewatching it, I actually appreciate it a little bit more, because while it is still a dumb car racing movie with all this bro stuff and all the, NOS and Corona and all like family and all that kind of stuff, it's still a very interesting film. It has good characters that get well developed, and I like the relationships between them. So I think it's still a fun watch, and I think it still holds up to this day. I'm going to give The Fast and the Furious a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think about The Fast and the Furious? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear what you guys have to say. Get a Pepsi while you're at it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.